Good afternoon, family and friends. I'm back. I was off for a few days, had to make a road trip, but I am back in my kitchen, and today I'm going to be cooking Mama Bear's famous potato salad. Why do I call it Mama Bear's? Years ago when I was camping, my kids' girlfriends, friends, all of them, got up one morning. Actually, my youngest son's girlfriend got up one morning, and I guess she didn't know what else to call me. And I'm kind of the mother of all the little cubs, so she started calling me Mama Bear. Thank you, Fawn, for doing that. I kind of like it. And the rest of the girls followed suit. And so now I'm just Mama Bear to everybody. And there's one gal in particular I'd like to dedicate this video to, and that's Miss Kimmy. She always liked my potato salad. And so this one's for you, Kimmy. Everybody makes potato salad different. I've seen a lot of different recipes for it, but this is my little recipe that I've used for many, many years, and everybody seems to like it, so I'm sharing it with you today. To speed up the video just a little bit, I'm going to show you how I kind of started cooking of the potatoes and the eggs. So just any big Dutch oven pot that you've got. I use between about 6 to 8 potatoes, medium-sized potatoes, and that many of eggs. And so you just put them in a pot like this, fill it all the way up with water. This is a handy little gadget I bought years ago. It's called the Pot Watcher. It's glass. And what you do with it is you stick it down in here at the very bottom of your pot, way down in there. And when you start cooking on the stove, your juices don't boil over. It's the coolest thing since peanut butter. I just love it. Okay, so speeding it up, I've already cooked my potatoes and my eggs. And so that is right here. These are them now. They're already cooked. And most of them fully cooked will break open like this. And that's good. That's fine, what you want. So what I'd like to do is we're going to take a big bowl, because it's going to make quite a bit of a potato salad. It really is. And I just do mine over the sink. I just start with a little paring knife, and I just start skinning all that skin off with the paring knife. If you're doing it in a hurry and the potatoes are still hot, you can take, lots of times I just take this little guy right here. I have a little meat fork, and I just stick it in the potato, and I hold it, and I put it under a little cool water, and then I'm peeling it that way. But these are already cooled down now. And so I'm taking them, and then I got this from my grandmother years ago. I do everything pretty much with my hand. So I'm just going to take it, and I cut it in two, and then I cut it in two again. And then I just kind of start cutting it up into little pieces like this. Now you can do it on the cutting board, but it's simpler like this. So again, we're just going to take all the potatoes, and we're going to skin all that off of there. Here's another little funny that I remember that my dad used to, he used to get the biggest kick out of my grandma saying, now they're from Oklahoma, my grandparents were, and they had little slangs and little sayings that they said. And one of them that my grandmother always said was, well, just cut it half in two. And my dad one day, he was kind of chuckling at the dinner table, and he says, I don't know what that is. And she says, well, what do you mean? You just cut it in half in two? No. He says, you don't. You either cut it in half or you cut it in two, but there's no half in two. And I've always remembered it. Cut it half in two. So again, we're just going to peel all this off. It's a beautiful, beautiful day here in Colorado. 51 degrees, in fact. And I'm going to have some hamburgers on the grill. Hamburgers with bacon wrap on them. And my potato salad, which would be really good. And again, you know, if you don't feel comfortable doing it in your hand like this, by all means, use a cutting board. Probably safer that way. It's just I've always done it this way, always. And I'll try to go as fast as I can for the video, because I don't want to do a two-part video. It's not necessary. I said 6 to 8 good-sized potatoes, depending on your crowd that you're going to have for dinner or lunch. This is so great in the summertime for picnics and different things. And I do have a secret ingredient again that everybody says, well, how does your potato salad taste so good? You just really like the flavor of it. I'll show you here in a second. Take off a little skin. And we're just making it bite size in here. The longer you cook your potatoes, the better, unless you like a crunchy potato salad. I kind of like mine soft. And I really enjoy my potato salad warm, you know, right when I fixed it. I like it then. It's always good the next day, of course. Most everything is on cooking the next day. It's allowed to savor in its pot or juices, and so it's real good. Again, we're just gonna peel the potatoes, get them all ready. Made these 100 times, this dish 100 times in my little vintage camper or traveling, camping, whatever. It's just a good recipe. And a few little ingredients and you've got something simple. That's my videos, remember. They're quick, simple, and not a whole lot of prep time, which I like. I don't like to be cooking, even in my camper, you know, all day when I'm camping. I don't like to be doing that. I'd certainly rather be out visiting with whoever's at the campsite or fishing and or riding my four-wheeler. I still like to do that very, very much. I like to get up in the mountains and see all the scenery of the beautiful aspen trees and pine trees and all the animals that are out, you know, that I'm liable to see a great big buck or soaring eagle, and just makes my day to see all of that. So I love nature, I really do. And cooking simple little foods like this. Okay, now I'm gonna rinse my hands a minute, and I'm gonna grab, you can put them in at any time, the little garden onions, but we're gonna go ahead and do the eggs next. And I just kind of tap mine on the side of the sink. Most of them will come off with ease. Sometimes I give them a good rinse in the water. And again, I'm just doing it with my hand because that's how I learned to do it. Very simple, but you can do it on the cutting board. Don't be afraid to use your cutting board. That's what they're for. I asked my grandma one day, I said, did you ever cut yourself, Grandma? Oh, yes, she had. Yep, little cuts, but that's how she learned. And that's pretty much how I learned. And so I've just kind of continued it. And once you start doing it, you know, you just get in kind of a rhythm of doing it. And it goes fairly fast. So again, I'm just cutting it in two again with my knife. And then I'm just kind of going down here until the knife hits my palm of my hand. I can feel it. I'm not doing it so much that it's going to make my hand bleed or anything. I can feel all that. I like to rinse them after I do each one because, you know, you might get a little shell in there and you don't want to eat that. So we're just going to cut these up. And again, if I've used 6 or 8 potatoes, then I would do 6 to 8 eggs. And I will leave 1 for the top. Normally I leave 2, but I'll show you when we get all done here. Again, it's just kind of coming together. I wasn't going to share this recipe. It was kind of my own that I've had over the years, and I said everybody likes it. It's just one of those that, I don't know if I want to give that away, but I'm having so much fun with these little videos that I thought I would share this one today. So glad to be back home. I had to go into Denver, clear down to Pueblo, if you're familiar with Colorado, you know where that is, for a funeral. And the weather was just terrible. From the time we started out until I came home, even had to make a detour by Laramie and Rollins because the road was closed because of 55-mile-an-hour winds. and blowing snow, so we couldn't go that way. And so I came over Rabbit Ears Pass, a pass I know very well. Beautiful up there. It wasn't snowing, wasn't anything, but getting there was kind of interesting. And I had my 2 little dogs with us, and one's just a puppy, just a baby, 7 months old, and she didn't do very well on the car ride. She got sick about 4 times. And so that wasn't fun. Okay, so that is done as far as the potatoes are all nice in the bowl. You can cut them up with your knife just to make it a little bit more if you want it a little bit more, but that's basically what that looks like. And then I'm going to take my little garden onions. And again, everything's been pre-washed. I always wash everything that comes from the grocery store. You don't know who's handled it. And save these for later of whenever you want. Let's stick those over there. And I like to have these kind of small, you know, bite-sized to small. So you're just going to cut these up. I've started with the 4. If you're that you really like onions, then by all means add some more onions in there. But mine is not so much measuring as it is just kind of eyeballing it when I've put it in here. Do I need a little bit more? You know, just visually looking at it if I want some more or not. I have always used the little garden green onions. You can use a yellow onion, would be fine. That I've said in other videos, you know, I'm not a real big fan of a white onion, and I'm not of a red onion. They're more kind of a purplish color, but they're called red onions. I'm not real favorite of that, especially not in my potato salad. Okay, so now we've got the onion in. All that in there. So I'll just down in the sink for right now. Okay, so that's in the onion. And then I like to use a sweet relish. You can use any brand that you want, but I like the sweet over a dill. So I'm just gonna, you know, like I said, eyeball it, and 2 good tablespoon scoopfuls of that. Then we have some mustard. Yeah, I'm just kind of eyeballing. I'm not measuring anything. If you like a lot of mustard, go ahead. Here's my secret ingredient again. Miracle Whip, not real mayonnaise. Miracle Whip. It's the best. If you are not a fan of Miracle Whip, you're not eating my potato salad. And yes, I use a generous portion. I'll take about half that jar and I will add to this recipe. I'm going to stir it up. And then I will see if I want to add some more to it, which I do. Sometimes I have used a full jar to a jar and a half of Miracle Whip. I like my potato salad creamy. And that's what this one's going to be, nice and creamy. Some more stir here. Always, always, always add salt and pepper to your taste. Again, I'm eyeballing it because I don't really like to measure. Salt and work it in. Just toss it and work it. Toss it and work it. Now, if you're unfamiliar with the measurements of just eyeballing it, then go slow when you're making this the first time. Because sometimes you will have way too much of your mustard or not enough relish. And if you feel like you need just a little bit more relish, add some more of it in there. On this recipe, the only thing that I could honestly say less is more is the mustard. Because everything else you're going to be fine with. Just fine with. Okay. It's looking real good. And then always I like to, see, Mama Bear's famous potato salad. That's me. That's me today. Always when you get done with whatever recipe, put it in a nice container or bowl if you're going to be serving it. Presentation is really the key to anything that you do, whatever you're making. You know, everybody needs to look at it looking nice, that they actually want to eat it. And so then I would just take this, I'm going to stir it up just a little bit more on the bottom. And I would pour that into a pretty bowl. The whole thing in there. Now, usually if this was for going out and being with someone, you know, entertaining or being in a large crowd, then I would certainly take 1 or 2 of the eggs and I would cut them long ways as far as the egg goes, long ways this way, till they're just little rings, you know, circles. And then you can put that all around the side and maybe 1 in the middle, and then add some paprika onto the top, and it's gorgeous. You know, it's ready for any little party that you have. But this is my potato salad. See, told you, it's really, really simple. So I hope you've enjoyed this little video today, and that you'll, you know, decide that some nice day like today that you want to have something different or something large for a family, or you're just missing eating potato salad, whatever it is. Try my recipe. This is from my house to yours, my little kitchen to yours. I hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you for watching. See you next time on Cooking with Carol Diane. Bye-bye.